Today we're going to be discussing the new moon energies in Gemini. But before we get started, I'd like to remind you that we will be picking another winner at the end of the show to have a live mini birth chart session with Hillory. So stick around because you may be the one. Okay, so manifesting time in the new moon of energy. We're in the new moon, new cycle, and the new moon happens to fall on Moon Day, Monday, which is pretty special, I think. A little bit about Gemini. Gemini is a mutable air sign. Mutable just means that it's flexible and adaptable and changeable. Air is connected with intellect, so they like to think, and Gemini's motto is I think, so it would make sense. They rule the lungs, which is a dual system, the hands, which is also a dual system, and the arms, as well as the nervous system. Gemini is they rule language. They talk with their hands, sign language and even body language because of that nervous system. It's connected to the subconscious. So you do things subconsciously without realizing it. That's a Gemini thing. What else? Oh, they may even speak multiple languages, right? I know a few Geminis that speak. I know one Gemini in particular who speaks 3 languages, and she's not me.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, speaking all those languages.
Yeah, well, they're the communicators, right, Gemini? They all forms of communication. So body language, talking with your hands, all of that is all part of that. They also are the social butterflies of the zodiac. They bounce around from person to person, and at parties, they're, with multiple groups. They're never really set with one person. They are definitely the social butterflies. They like to talk about everything because they're the communicators. They're ruled by Mercury, which is the fastest moving planet outside of the moon, right?
Yep.
And how fast is Mercury? How fast does Mercury go through the signs?
The moon goes. It depends on the wobble. Like it depends. But it is the second fastest to the. It's like 2 weeks, I think it takes.
Oh, okay.
Is it true? Yeah, no, it depends. I think it really much depends on how fast the different things are going, because it could be retrograding, it could be slowing down to go retrograde.
Right.
The moon is definitely
the fastest, the moon, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, they are pretty quick, and that's where Gemini gets their quick wit. They're quick-witted, they're quick with learning. They're super quick with having the remembering some minor detail or something that doesn't even matter, right?
Well, still important little bits of information.
Right, I guess Trivial Pursuit would be like a Gemini game.
Yep, definitely. Full of little facts and communications.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini, and I attest that I remember silly little things. But it's always when we're playing a game or something. I'm a good game member, a good teammate to have on your team.
Yep. Smart and quick-witted.
Yeah. Mercury goes retrograde, 3 times or more a year? At least 3 times a year, or around 3 times a year? So that's when they're associated with being the trickster and the jokester. And, that's when, I would think the negative side of Gemini would be with the talking behind the back, or what else? Playing jokes,
kind of the duality, the dark side.
The duality.
Yeah,
well,
the good and the bad side.
And they're ruled by the twins, which is their totem. Not ruled, but their totem is the twins, which resembles duality and the good side of the dark side, right?
Yep. Often Geminis are twins too. It's the most commonly born sign of twins, actual twins.
Yeah, you told me that last time, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Okay. What else? Their color is orange. So, their day is Wednesday. So maybe you could wear orange on Wednesday. That would be cool. Some
Yep.
stones for Gemini are emeralds, citrine, agate, I think even tiger's eye, and oh, that's all I can think of right now. But there's
It's a
many,
good
many
list.
more. There's
Hmm.
many, many more. So those are things to keep in mind. Oh, and the tarot card is the lovers. So if you're into
Hmm.
tarot, that is
Duality.
that is duality. It's also the connection between the conscious and subconscious mind, with Adam looking at Eve and Eve looking up at the sun, or the angel, which is giving messages from the
Right.
another word region, or
From the,
not region, astral
yeah.
region.
Well, and Gemini did go like he was the messenger to the underworld, or between the like the conscious and the unconscious, and
Mm-hmm.
light and the dark.
Which makes sense of why they rule the nervous system, which is connected to the unconscious. You know, with
Yeah,
the body
totally.
language, when you try to hide something, your body will definitely tell everybody that you're hiding something.
Right. Yeah, like that study called, what is it? They study micro expressions. So you can see how like someone might tell a lie but then get a little smile on their face, which is called duping delight, because they're
Yeah.
excited subconsciously that they just pulled one over on you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've looked into it. That's the language that I find most intriguing is body language. I'm a
Mm.
homeschooling mom, and that's something that I've sat with my kids on many lessons. We have
It's
many
important.
conversations on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
very,
Make
very
you
important.
wise. You can figure out how people are, what they're expressing with their body.
Well, your subconscious mind is picking it up, so you kind of feel it, like you're intuitive, like I don't know about that person, something doesn't feel right. It's probably their
Right.
body language and your subconscious mind just picking it up.
Yeah, totally. Picking up the vibes. Yeah, the vibes are all kinds of little details.
Yeah. So what's the forecast for Monday? What's going on?
So we do have a new moon in Gemini on Monday, which is what we're discussing. And it's so the new moon every month is really good for manifesting, for seeding your intentions. It's like the darker the moon, and especially the first 72 hours after the new moon. But the closer to the exact moment that you could seed your intentions and be very clear about what you want, like the faster things will manifest for you. So with the new moon in Gemini, anything to do with communication, like we were talking about, anything to do with like if you need to communicate some important information, if you need to do any writing, any talking, speaking, also communicating with your siblings, if you have something important to communicate, or if you need to connect with your siblings, now is a really supportive time for that. Also, what else is it? If you want to heal the parts of your body that have to do with Gemini, which would be your lungs and your like your whole your arms, your hands. I think your shoulders are included in that. Like the part of us that can like reach out to the world is what Gemini does. It reaches out. So that would be also supported if you need to heal. Maybe you got carpal tunnel syndrome or even nervous anxiety. If you might have some of that, Gemini can rule that as well because of the nervous system connection. So if you need to kind of set intentions to go forward with these systems operating more functionally, if they aren't functional now, that's perfect time to do it. There is on this day like kind of a the new moon is lovely, and there's a couple difficult aspects, and that's how the other planets are connecting around the time of the moon. So we do have a tricky aspect between the moon and Neptune, which is a square, and also the moon and Jupiter, which is an opposition. So the Neptune square, it's almost like you get a chance to reset your communications with like the higher realms, or your like dream world or your imagination world, the part of you that is tapped into the cosmos and into what's going on below the veil or behind the veil. There's a square between the Neptune or the Gemini moon and then the Neptune energy. So it's not necessarily that you'll want to be experiencing these things or to be conscious of these things, because of the square, like you'd rather maybe be dealing with things that are more simple and lovely, but this kind of heavy mystical energy is around as well, which can be very good for creating if you need to create anything, because Neptune has a lot to do with our artistic ourselves as well. Also tapping into other realms, tapping into that part of you that can create or that knows about what's going on in the other parts of the cosmos and things like that. We've got that going on, so be aware. It could also cause you to be quite sleepy and disoriented or feel overwhelmed, not really sure what to do, feeling just kind of burdened by too many options. And then we also have the opposition to Jupiter. So Neptune, or no, not Neptune, Gemini is in Sagittarius, so they're opposites. So there's like a part, the Gemini kind of wants to keep things, you know, sample little bits of information, and Jupiter is like, but what is the big truth? What is the whole truth? So truth could become something that's important during this new moon, like knowing the truth, speaking the truth, having the truth confront you, or you confronting something to do with the truth. That's all a possibility too, like a push-pull between not the truth and the truth is one manifestation. Or it could also be there's a call to go higher or learn more or understand more. That could be going on as well. So yeah, that's a pretty busy moon. It's a stressful new moon. There's a lot of action. We'll definitely be acting. There's going to be stuff going on.
So you were saying that there's a square with Neptune and the new moon, and Neptune is the dreamy realm, right? The
ruler of Pisces.
So maybe could some astral travel be going on, because you got Mercury with Gemini, you know, rules Gemini, and it's in Gemini, the new moon. Maybe you can, you know what's really cool, I just figured out today, and I've known this for a while, but it dawned on me today, is that the planets are moving above us at all different times of day, and you could actually download an app, a planetary calculator, and so we have the moon on Moon Day or Monday, the new moon, and we're going to put our intentions out there. So maybe when you find out when Mercury is, you can actually sit and talk and spend your energy with Mercury. You know, it's more enhanced to where you could ask for, you know, I know Neptune's going to be involved, so how about some astral travel? You know, like something like that.
Yeah, if you're into that, yeah, for sure. Like if you want to tap into those realms, it's very accessible with that energy. Okay. But there is a stress involved too. So like a square is a forced growth kind of situation. Okay. So it might be like out of your comfort zone. Might not be like, whoa, this is like super fun. It might be like, whoa, like what is going on here? So just keep that in mind.
That's true, right? It's a square, so.
Yeah, you might see things or do like, you know, you might encounter something that you don't really want to encounter.
Okay, well then maybe not ask for that.
maybe just like actually putting yourself in a different situation is where the stress is coming, right? It's not necessarily that it's a bad stress, it's just stress. Which is what a square, right?
Yeah. And then what about the Jupiter? It's squaring. Is it squaring the moon or squaring Neptune? I didn't hear that part. You kind of froze up a little bit.
It's opposing. It's actually in an opposition to the moon. So
opposite. Which is even more stressful, right?
Well, no, a square is more. I think I would say like a square is more stressful than an opposition. Like an opposition, you can kind of like negotiate. You know, you can like this or that, and you can try and like balance them both. Whereas a square, it's like energies at cross purposes. So like if there's too many squares between the charts of people, they don't like each other. They're like, we're not
squaring off.
Yeah, they're like, no, that's like the square off. We're like, no, you know, even important relationships that should, you like maybe mother-child or, you know, that kind of relationship that you would just expect should work out can even not work out with a square. If there's squares in too many places. To be like, screw this, I'm not gonna put myself through this. So it can be difficult. Whereas in opposition, it could just be more of a like, you know, a tug of war could go on, but it doesn't make you necessarily break from the situation. So, but the opposition between those two energies, like I said, Jupiter is very, Sagittarius is very concerned with the truth, right? And it wants to know the whole picture, and it wants to philosophize, and it wants to go very deep into topics and learn a lot as much as possible. Yeah. Whereas Gemini is more happy on the surface. It likes to learn many things about many little things, which that's in a way why the two energies don't like that will sometimes come as an issue, right? That'll be an issue between the, but you have that dynamic in your relationship.
I do.
How does that work out for you guys?
I know. I have the full Gemini Sagittarius moon in my chart, and then my husband's a Sagittarius, and I think I remember reading somewhere it could be the most potent relationships when you're with your opposing sign, because you can really complement each other, or you can really oppose each other. Oppose opposites or opportunity. I look at it like, you know.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Well, and you have, I mean, yours is a little different because you do have a moon in Sagittarius, which is a highly complementary to your relationship, and the sun in Sagittarius, right? So that's it. Kind of it mitigates the actual true opposition by throwing in the same energy into your own sign. So maybe very lucky
that maybe this new moon could actually, with Jupiter opposing it, could actually be the same kind of, you know what I mean? It could be either or. It could be opposing or opportunity. So I guess where you want to, especially with the manifesting, you know, you're building opportunity there. So
everything is opportunity ultimately.
It is really.
Whatever it is, whatever we're experiencing, it's an opportunity. It's the best way to look at it, for sure.
Is there anything like supporting the new moon in Gemini? Is there any other planets that are like, you know, conjuncting? Probably not, because you probably would have mentioned it.
Yeah, well, that's like the aspects immediate, like the closest to the moon. But the day before, we have a trine between Venus and Neptune, or not Neptune, Pluto, which is that's a very supportive energy for manifesting reality, for it's perfect to have the day before, because it might get you very much in touch with what your values are, what your goals are, and what you want to create, what you want to manifest, what you want to build the foundation for, which is like quite deep thinking. So whatever's in the way might become very conscious on Sunday, but in a way that you're like, oh, I can see now. I understand why this is the way it is, or why that's worked out like this. You'll get some insight, which helps with the transformation, which is what Pluto is always trying to do. So that right before on Sunday, there is that supportive trine that will help you kind of prepare for the new moon the next day. So that's supportive. Well,
definitely.
And then the very next day, Mercury will move into, it'll conjoin the moon. So that's also so you'll be very clear, like very clear thinking. And then Mercury moves into Cancer, which is quite a different energy. It's from being very like kind of electric and like, you know, very thinking to very emotional and very like feeling right after. So it'll be a change depending on your own dynamics and stuff you got in your own chart. We'll see how it works out and whether you actually dive with it or it's stressful or not.
Well, you know, it's a good thing Gemini rules the lungs, because we can really control our breathing in this time. If we're feeling stressed, you know, take some deep breaths and, you know, mutate that
ground
energy.
Yourself.
Ground yourself.
Transmute. Yeah, and grounding is important. Getting your feet on the ground and your hands in the dirt, or your feet in the dirt, like just getting in like a tree bath would be really helpful. Get out, like do walks in nature. The air is very healing and soothing to the Gemini energy. But also just if you're feeling frazzled or you can't sleep, or if you're responding that way, then getting your feet on the ground, grounding yourself. Crystals and essential oils, like you mentioned, citrine. I think it's the yellow ones that go with Gemini for some reason.
Yeah, yellow and orange. That's why I think Tiger's Eye is part of that, has the orange stripes in it, and because the energy, the color is orange, and citrine can be a yellow, but very close orange.
An orange, it's definitely an orangey color.
I've always gravitated towards citrine. So. Yes,
citrine's good. It's supposed to be one of the ones very good for manifesting money. Like
abundance.
If you know anything about feng shui, if you like go to the wealth sector of your house and put citrine there, it's supposed to help attract much more money. And it does. This works. I've done this before, and I'm like, whoa, like more money's coming in. And also using a red wallet is also bizarrely effective. If you get a red wallet and start putting money in your red wallet, it just starts multiplying money for some reason. It's a little feng shui trick.
It's like all these little symbols in our subconscious mind that make this work, you know? Color red, the color, the citrine. That's interesting. I love
And
it.
maybe it's just the actual intention. You're like, well, I'm going to put money in this red wallet, and it is my intention that it will make more money. And that's just the focus of the energy, right? Maybe
I
that's
really
it
think
too.
ultimately that's all it really comes down
Yeah.
to is the intention.
Yes.
So yeah, it's good to be aware that there's going to be some stressful things going on the Monday, but where's your intention? Where do you want to intend things? And
Right.
since
Yes.
we're in this, like you said, maybe communicating with the siblings because it rules the house of siblings. Maybe something to do with commerce because that's the house of commerce as well, right? The third house is siblings and commerce. And communication.
Moving around in your neighborhood, getting around in your neighborhood too, like connecting with people in your immediate neighborhood is really Gemini too.
So, use those intentions when you're manifesting because you have that energy behind this moon. Whatever you need to do, maybe learn a new language.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. Like learning, especially languages, because Gemini does have the gift of language for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They're good at mimicking and like they're funny. They're often comedians because they're so witty and clever.
I used to joke when I get a few drinks in me, I think I'm funny, but I'm probably not.
Really?
I mean,
somebody would have told you by now if you're just like not funny.
I make people laugh, but they're probably laughing at me, not with me.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Hopefully you figured this out by now.
I did. I'm just joking. Yeah. But I joked around a few times.
Yeah.
I joked around a few times saying that I wanted to be a comedian. And then I thought about it, I'm like, no way. No.
I think it would be a very hard row to hoe. Like,
oh, yeah.
So glad that is not my calling.
Yeah.
Because it would suck if it would be so hard. Yeah. It's a very brave thing to do.
All your comedians out there, go, good on you. But not from me.
It's a big deal. It's definitely a difficult job. I guess if it pays off, it's probably really worth it though. And it's their calling, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Just end up doing that.
It's in the chart.
Yeah, it would be in the chart.
It's not in mine. I actually just had on my birthday was Wednesday.
Yes. Happy birthday, Jamie.
Hillory she gifted me with a birth chart reading, which was amazing. I highly, highly recommend it.
Thank you.
Yes. So if you guys are interested, definitely check her out. Speaking of which, do you think we're ready to pick the winner?
We have one question.
Oh, we have a question.
Champagne C says, you repeat it.
What's the name?
So for the new moon, Champagne C.
Champagne C.
So for the new moon, is it okay to put out crystals? Is it okay to put crystals out as well besides the full moon?
The question is it okay? Oh, you heard the question? Well, I'm going to repeat it anyway. Do you think everybody heard it? She had asked if it was okay to put the crystals out in the new moon as well as the full moon. As far as I've always was told, the full moon is what charges the crystals, but you had mentioned about burying the crystals.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe burying them under the new moon might be good because there's no light. It's more grounded, right?
Yeah, and it can clear them as well.
There's many ways to charge and clear crystals. I mean, you can use salt water. You can use the sun. I've heard that, putting them out in the sun in water. I think just even blessing them, putting some
intending.
Intending. Yeah. So if you feel inclined, Champagne, to put your crystals out, then go for it. See what happens. Let us know too.
Sure.
I've never done it on a new moon, so I don't know. But if you do it, give us some feedback next time around. I would love to hear if you felt anything different and if you felt like it cleared it. It would be great.
It's also a good time to program your crystals to be like take your I have. This actually would be this is a calcite, a blue calcite, and it's supposed to be good for communication with throat chakra. But if you took your crystal and then wrote down what you wanted it to be a talisman for, or like an amulet, kind of like holding your intention for you. You can do that, especially on the new moon, which would be very cool.
Oh,
so like this is the crystal that I use when I sit down to write. And it I know when I pick it up, this is what helps. And it does work. Like I find I'm very connected with people. I find them very supportive.
That's awesome. Thank you for that advice. I did not know that. You can set new intentions in your crystals
Yes.
on the new moon.
Yes.
It makes perfect sense though. We're talking about new moon intending, so.
True that. It does make sense.
Okay,
We
so
can pretty much do whatever we want. But yeah.
But it's nice to know how the energies work and to kind of, and not just kind of, but work alongside of them. Know what's going on.
Yes.
Did we freeze?
For sure.
Okay, so are you
no,
ready?
We did?
Well, you're frozen.
Yes,
Am I frozen?
I'm ready. I'm
Okay,
frozen?
You're unfrozen now. It's happening a
I'm
little bit.
unfrozen? Okay.
So, our winner is...
So do we want to...
Okay. Do we want to what? Keeping them in suspense here.
Oh, sorry. Like, we're going to announce who the winner is and then go for it. Do a little mini reading.
So, Anna Payton
let me know.
is the winner
Are you
today. I
Okay.
don't know. There's just some bad connection going on. It's hard.
Anna.
Oh, she's
Oh, no,
good.
really?
Uh-oh.
Am I okay? Oh, no.
You're good.
I can hear you. I haven't lost my connection with you at all.
No, it's just a little slagging.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. All right, so I will have a look here at Anna's chart, who is the 23rd of May. I don't know if she wants me to say her birth time or any of that. Born in Sweden, just in case she needs to know who she is. Mm-hmm. So it's her birthday too. So happy Gemini birthday. That's pretty cool. Lots of Geminis happening. Mm-hmm. So this new moon will be actually quite potent and important for Anna because it's in her sun sign. So if she were to set intentions at this time, it would be extra potent. And she's I would assume that she's quite a lucky person. He has Jupiter and the sun in the 9th house, which is the house that Jupiter rules. And I imagine her ability to download important information, to come to the truth, to figure out what, like, philosophies are very supportive and growth oriented, she's very lucky in this area. So anything to do with like higher education or maybe traveling to foreign countries, I would imagine she would be very fortunate in other countries and important right now, especially like focusing on something like that. She also has Pluto in the 1st house connecting to these planets in the 9th house. And it's Pluto. Yeah, it's there's something about transforming or completely something that Anna represents has to do with transformation. It has to do with being maybe like the way shower or the trigger would be another word. She'll trigger change in other people, trigger transformation, be there to kind of witness it and initiate transformation in people. Like, again, this makes me think, I think we were similar last time we did this, where she could be like a doula or a midwife, or oppositely, she could work in like a funeral home or something like that, where she's helping people deal with transformation. Birth and death are the biggest transformations that I can think of. So, but it could also just be like she works at the UN, or there's some kind of important transformational work that has to do with language and communication, philosophy, foreign travel, that kind of thing. And if she were to set her intentions around these sorts of topics, learning, language, philosophy, foreign travel, connections with foreigners, right now, it would be very well supported for her to go forward with that sort of thing. She also has, like, I think that maybe she does have an important work that could have to do with, like, death. Comes to mind, death and transformation, some kind of big, just loaded 8th house. And usually people that have heavy duty planets in the 8th house, they're very aware of kind of the dark side or the difficult aspects of life right from when they were children. Usually they're exposed to, like, heavy stuff that most children don't think about or wouldn't want to think about. Whereas I would imagine, looking at Anna's chart, that she was very much exposed to kind of difficult kinds of situations. It also has to do with other people's money and resources and what, like she could be an inheritor of money. Actually, when the 8th house is busy, people often will inherit money. Or there could have been a death that was very wounding to her, like maybe losing a, let me just see, probably not losing a father, but losing somebody that meant a lot, that would trigger a conscious awareness of, like, you know, kids can go through life quite blissfully unaware of the heavy duty stuff, but she was not. She was definitely aware of these sorts of things. And it was a stress, and it probably very much informed who she's become in the world and what she's working towards now as a grown-up person in the world. What else is here? So there is like quite a lot of harmony. She's got Saturn prominent in the chart. So and it's in a space. It's reminding me of last week's chart quite a bit. It's in the space of the 11th house, so it could very well be that she has to use discipline and structure and, like, all the Saturnian energies which have to do with time awareness and structure and discipline and towing the line and responsibility. There's a lot of responsibility, and it could very well have been to do with her community or her friend groups or society in general. I'd imagine this combo of somebody working for society in some way. And there's also a discipline to make her dreams come true. She has like a Saturn connections that could indicate she's a writer, or that she's like also she's a writer, communicator, someone that's very physically like disciplined as well. Like maybe she weight or does something that's very regimented that causes like dreams to manifest, basically. So it's a good combination of supportive energy. And the sun is conjunct Jupiter. That's it's a wide conjunction, but it's a very lucky thing. Usually when people have the sun and Jupiter together, there's like they always have they are. Stuff happens that's lucky. It's very fortunate. Usually it has to do with like past life good karma. You've already done a lot of good things in another life, so here's your reward. So yeah, it's quite a dynamic chart. There's lots going on, and I imagine that it's quite I'm sure she's already tapped into this based on her date of birth. I'm sure she's well along with the important work and knows exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, I think that kind of covers it.
Similar to my chart too. I have a lot of activity in the 8th house.
You do. You actually, that's maybe what, because I did just have your chart, look at your chart this week. So maybe that's why I keep feeling like it's similar. Yeah. Like there's similar stuff going on.
Yeah, when you were saying some of the things, I'm like, hey, I have that in my chart too.
Yeah, totally. You do. Yeah, even like even the 11th house stuff, and yeah, for sure you do. Yeah, hopefully that was helpful for Anna and that she learned a little bit. I mean, a chart reading, when I work with people, I usually go for like 90 minutes. There's a lot of information there. So kind of tapping down in this sort of scenario, you know, it's just grazing the surface of what you could find in your chart.
Just giving you an hour, a little idea.
Yeah, a snippet, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was great. Hope.
How can they find?
Wait.
They want a reading.
Oh, if you want a reading, how can they get a reading from you? It's on your website, Everyday Astrology.
The Everyday Astrology podcast or the Everyday Astrology website, or I can just be reached through my Gmail too, which is HillorySkott@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, congratulations to Anna. Hope you enjoyed your reading. Very similar to my chart, so we're like almost birthday twins. But
yeah, which I guess that's why.
All right, so we'll be back on June 14th. It's a Friday, 2 Fridays from now, at the same time, 8 p.m., and we'll be discussing the full moon in Sagittarius, the opposing sign of Gemini. It's at the galactic center too. It's a big deal. Ooh.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that though.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited. And that's my full moon. So yeah, really excited about that.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Well, it was Great hanging out. Many blessings, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.